All right, I don't want you to get too excited, but this is the very last video. Um, and it's also the final step of the process for individualized intervention. And we touched upon implementation, but this is going to continue as we think about monitoring, the ongoing monitoring and evaluating the outcomes of our support plans. So it's important when we're monitoring our outcomes to identify outcomes that are valued and important to the team. We want to remember to KISS it or keep it simple and schedule dates and check-ins. So in order to successfully monitor outcomes, the team first identifies outcomes that are valued, but then we have to create some type of user-friendly forms and that are created to monitor these outcomes. Forms could include things like rating scales, duration of time, check sheets. So here's some different samples of what that could look like. This is Ben's playtime form, and it allows the observer to record behavior by circling the corresponding number rating. So once the week's data is complete, the circled numbers can be connected to chart progress on a line graph. Or, oh, check it out. All right, or we have Amy's transition form, and this allows the observer to record a behavior rating and then tally an average rate for each day. So you can analyze activities in the routine that might be a little more difficult for Amy. And this is our thermometer form. This form provides a rating scale for behavior during routines. And you complete the rating after the target routine or at the end of the day is fine. So while this form doesn't provide detailed information on exactly what happened, it does provide an indication of whether the behavior is getting better or if it's continuing to be problematic. And so what do we do if challenging behaviors go away for a time and then seem to come back, if we see behaviors return? And just know that that's kind of expected and it's fairly typical that this is going to happen sometimes. So oftentimes children with challenging behaviors are at risk due to some environmental concerns, maybe health issues and or disabilities. So because these children are at risk, challenging behavior could return or present itself in a new form and or maybe it could take on a new function. So just know that this is something that can certainly and does certainly happen. First, review the behavior support plan and then make sure it's being implemented as planned. Review the evaluation data to determine if the pattern is an extinction burst. So, remember this is when the challenging behavior gets worse before it gets better. And then examine events to see if there are maybe some new triggers for the behavior. So you might need to go back and do more observation to see if there are some new antecedents that are in place. And then restore the support plan and implement it with fidelity. So implement it to the best, most fullest extent of your ability with your team. Or continue with the plan through the extinction burst if you decided that's what's happening. Or add some components to the behavior support plan, maybe to address the new triggers. Or even conduct a new functional assessment and begin to develop some new support strategies, especially if you think there are different functions or reasons for the behavior that you're seeing. And that's it for now. I'm going to shut up and wish you a wonderful last week of class. So get started on those assignments, and remember the schedule is really weird in the last week of class. Class doesn't go through Sunday at midnight like normal. The semester technically ends on Friday night at 11:59 p.m. So you have until then to submit this week's assignments, but if you also have any missing or late assignments from previous weeks that you want to submit for credit, I will be able to take those and not dock you for points. all the way up until Friday at 11:15 at 9 p.m. So I wish you a positive and very productive last week of class.